put that coffee down.
So just talk me through exactly like how that came to be, because last year you got the 10 million.
Yeah.
And then this year 25 million for the same funnel, right? Like it's the same thing. We're selling 7th level.
Yeah. Like it's the same funnel though, because we have other things going and we make money.
Right.
So that funnel made an additional 15 million.
Right.
And we made other money through other means, but it's from that funnel.
And give me a breakdown of the numbers, because it was like when you're talking growth, because that's a part of that as well, isn't it?
So 7th level is the 391st fastest growing company in the US, according to the Inc. 5000. Obviously, you've got to register for that. Most high growth companies do though, because it's a good way to get VC funding and stuff like that. And we were the I don't want to misquote it, but I think it was like 21st fastest in the US in services.
Okay.
Right. So we did really well. It's a very fast growing company.
Can you give me some context to that? Like that's a number, 21st fastest growing.
Or one of the few companies that made it that didn't take capital.
Okay.
And I'd say we'd be in the top, like if they had a category for non-fundraising companies, we'd be in the top, 30 or 40, I would say. So we went from, we had some sort of like 576% growth. And we won it in 2020, we were like 1,200th in 2021, which is the last one, because it's kind of retrospectively, it's based on finance. You have to submit your financials. Like it's very, you can't fudge it.
So I was going to lie and say, for the audience to help them understand, but for me to help me understand, taking capital would mean that a business can go from zero. They borrowed the money, but then they grow fast because they just like, huzzah, we're a giant business immediately.
Yeah.
Whereas you have
bootstrapped it.
Yeah. So didn't take any money from anyone. Each sale goes to the financing of building the company and going from there.
Yeah. So like when you take funding, like when you go and raise capital, it does a few things. One, it gives your business and probably an artificially high valuation, because there's different modelings there's like a financial valuation, which is like, hey, you make this much money. There's a standard multiplier of your EBITDA, right? Which is, your earnings, you put back in all this stuff. And then from there, there's like a standard industry multiplier. And then when you get VC, when you start looking at money, what they'll do is they'll have a look at like an internal rate of return. So it's like, well, if we're going to come into this business, what can we get out of it? So they'll give you much larger multiples.
Right.
So then all of a sudden you have a business doing $1 million a year and it's valued at 900 million.
Right.
And like I know a business at the moment, they have an app, like a business card app. They do $1 million a year revenue. They have a $1 billion valuation.
Right. Because it's getting it like that's
it's not what you think.
It doesn't have to do with it. Like we see the trajectory you're on.
Not
and
really.
We give you that valuation.
It doesn't have to. It can have, what does it provide me in my other businesses? Like if that person has a huge user base, right? But the revenue will never get above, say, 10 million, but it has an enormous user base, like WhatsApp, for example. Like WhatsApp was bought by Facebook for a crazy multiple because it had the database of people and it could now communicate with people on a separate means and then get that database in, right? So the internal rate of return for Facebook is enormous because now it's got more people for its advertisers to go after.
Right.
That's why they went after Snapchat. And Snapchat didn't sell and now they're worth fucking kajillion. You know what I mean? But like Twitter, for example, has a multiplier of 170 times revenue.
Right.
Twitter doesn't make that much money.
So,
it's like it's less than $100 million a year Twitter makes.
Right.
That's not that much money,
So
Flo Payne's making more than Twitter.
Yeah. So the value is not in the money it makes, but the other ways you can make money by owning the data that it has.
Exactly. Hey guys, you just saw a podcast snippet. I'm excited for you. So we have a new one that comes out every single week. Go to your favorite podcasting location and make sure you check out the new episode every single week. Dropping on a Thursday.